Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Naga, Munchetty and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines. The push to persuade Labour rebels not to delay welfare changes continues after the government's climb down over the extent of the cuts.
I want to get this right, so I want to bring people with us, and therefore we've made adjustments.
The Archbishop of Wales retires with immediate effect after the publication of reports highlighting safeguarding weaknesses at Bangor Cathedral.
The NHS keeps the public away and patients are seen as an inconvenience, so claims the new head of the health service in England.
Good morning. In sport, 12 years of waiting is finally over for one of the biggest occasions in rugby union. The British and Irish Lions are ready to play their first match of their Australian tour against Western Force in Perth.
And temperatures are on the rise. The heatwave is upon us. Today, a hot and sunny day for some of us, but the peak of the heat is expected Monday and Tuesday.
Hello, good morning. It is Saturday, it's the 28th of June. Ministers are spending the weekend trying to persuade Labour backbenchers not to delay welfare changes after yesterday's climb down by the government.
Downing Street offered significant concessions, meaning that new claimants, not existing ones, would face stricter checks to decide whether they could claim disability benefits. The Archbishop of Wales, Andrew John, has announced his retirement from the role with immediate effect following a critical report last month about the cathedral which he oversees. The report described a culture at Bangor Cathedral in which sexual boundaries seemed blurred. Our reporter Gwyn Loader has more. Tom Asher, I imagine, was there, but he's dashed back.
Just flew in on a private jet this morning.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we were one of your priorities. It's great. How are you doing?
Actually, no, I didn't fly in the jet. I swam. I'm not allowed to fly jets.
Well, you got the weather for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll probably need something refreshing over the next couple of days if you're going to feel too hot. Stay cool. We've done it before.
We will. Good advice, Thomas. Yeah. Thank you. Good to see you. We'll chat later. Thanks.
Time now, it's just coming up to 6:15. Now, thousands of people have signed a petition calling for tougher rules on the use of electronic scooters because of concerns for the safety of people who use them.
Yeah, the campaign has been organised by Carly Calland, whose 14-year-old son, Jacob, died after the e-scooter he was riding on collided with a car. The BBC's Roger Johnson has been speaking to her.
We'll be taking a look at the issue of e-scooters later on in the programme.
It's 19 minutes past 6. Let's have a look at the front of today's newspapers. And love and dignity in the face of such evil. That's the Daily Mirror's headline today. It leads with a tribute to Daniel Anjorin from his father after the schoolboy's killer was jailed for 40 years. Dr. Ebenezer Anjorin said his son was a kind and generous spirit.
The NHS's new boss has criticised the health service, as you've been hearing on the programme, for viewing patients as an inconvenience and building mechanisms to keep them away. The Daily Telegraph reports that in an interview, the Samaki has said that the NHS has made it really difficult for patients to get the care they need. The Times is focusing on plans to rewire the health service, and pay for doctors and nurses will be linked to patient satisfaction and a hospital's ability to bring down waiting lists, the paper reports.
And finally, Britain will bake in 36-degree heat. That's the headline on the Daily Express. The paper says sweltering temperatures on Monday could make it the hottest June day ever. Right in time for the tennis. Because Wimbledon starts. I know you're taking us down under there first, aren't you?
Yeah, Wimbledon on Monday. John will be there.
Yeah.
If you're camping at Wimbledon, beware, you might see John Watson opening up the tent early on Monday morning. He'll be in the queue with all the campers. So just look out for John. You can't miss him.
What is the weather like down under?
Oh, in Perth, it's not as hot as it's going to be here. It's going to be sunny, but not as hot. And what a moment for one young lion then. On to football. What a night it could be tonight for the England under-21 team as they take on Germany in their Euros final later, looking to retain on a Saturday morning.
Thanks, Mike. See you later.
It's coming up to 6:30. Now, since it opened in 1980, Sheffield's famous music venue, Leadmill, has been a place which has propelled acts like Pulp and the Arctic Monkeys to fame.
But tonight, after more than 4 decades, it will close its doors for the last time. Our reporter Stephanie Mishkin has been taking a look back at its history. At the time now, 28 minutes to 7. We're going to be back with the headlines for you at 7 o'clock, but now it is time for Unspun World.
Hello and welcome to Unspun World from the BBC's headquarters in central London. In this edition, has the regime in Iran managed to weather the storm?
The chain of command seems to be functioning, although it has suffered heavy blows. They will think of finding some proper deterrence.
The war on Ukraine, has it unexpectedly rescued NATO in spite of, maybe because of, Donald Trump?
We have the attack on Ukraine by Russia, which has given essentially NATO a renewed sense of purpose.
And a BBC film gives a remarkable insight into the ferocious gangland culture of Cape Town.
Everybody's getting killed, and if I say everybody, adults and children, and young children are born into this lifestyle of drugs, gangsterism, and violence, and also living with that trauma continuously.
You don't have to be as triumphalist as President Trump to realize that the world has changed quite a lot in the last couple of weeks. Well, that's it from this edition of Unspun World. Thanks so much for being with us. And until we meet again, goodbye.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Naga, Munchetty and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines. The push to persuade Labour rebels not to delay welfare changes continues after the government's climb down over the extent of the cuts.
I want to get this right, and I want to bring people with us, and therefore we've made adjustments.
The Archbishop of Wales retires with immediate effect after the publication of reports highlighting safeguarding weaknesses at Bangor Cathedral.
The NHS keeps the public away and patients are seen as an inconvenience, so claims the new head of the health service in England.
Health alerts and fears of wildfires. An extreme heatwave hits Europe with temperatures forecast to reach more than 40 degrees Celsius.
And temperatures are on the rise. The heat wave is upon us. Today, a hot and sunny day for some of us, but the peak of the heat is expected Monday and Tuesday.
Good morning in sport. The wait is finally over for the British and Irish Lions, who are back on Australian soil for their tour down under with their first match against Western Force in Perth just hours away now.
And we're live at Glastonbury, where 2 years after he struggled to finish his sets, Lewis Capaldi returned to the Pyramid stage and triumphed.
Good morning. It's Saturday, the 28th of June. Ministers are spending the weekend trying to persuade Labour backbenchers not to delay welfare changes after yesterday's climb down by the government.
Well, Downing Street offered significant concessions, meaning that new claimants, not existing ones, would face stricter checks to decide whether they could claim disability benefits.
The Archbishop of Wales, Andrew John, has announced his retirement from the role with immediate effect, following two critical reports last month about the cathedral, which he oversees. The reports described a culture at Bangor Cathedral in which sexual boundaries seemed blurred. Our reporter, Gwyn Loader, has more.
Well, just to explain a little more about what that looks like, let's talk to Thomas. And Thomas, those numbers are incredible to see them like that on the map. Good morning.
Good morning. And you know what's quite incredible about this is the fact that we're quite early in the summer, really. Yeah.
Thanks, Thomas. We'll see you later.
18 minutes past 7, and with more than 2 million members, the Teachers' Pension Scheme is one of the largest in the UK. But Radio 4's Moneybox has been receiving a steady stream of complaints about how its pensions are being managed.
Some members are so appalled over how they've been treated that they are now taking legal action.
Dan Whitworth's been investigating. He joins us now. Dan, morning.
Hello.
Interesting one, this, isn't it? Because it is so big. Talk to me about the complaints. What are people alleging? 7:31 now. Events are set to take place across the UK to mark Armed Forces Day. It honours all members of the military, including veterans, cadets and the families of serving troops.
Among the key events is a celebration in Cleethorpes, where crowds will see parades, displays of military vehicles and a flypast featuring the Red Arrows. Our reporter Simon Spark has been taking a look at the preparations. It's coming up to 20 minutes to 8. Good morning to you. So, Mike.
Good morning. Hi, Mike.
What do you think is the preparation for a rugby team that doesn't naturally play together?
Well, they've had a few weeks now, haven't they, We're talking about the British and Irish Lions. Every 4 years they come together, the nations of Wales, England, or players from Wales, England, Scotland and Ireland, normally are opponents, but they bond together, don't they, every 4 years for the British and Irish Lions tour.
Do they'll be bonding over food right now?
On to football, and England's under-21 team could be European champions once again tonight if they can beat Germany in their Euros final later. Outside Wimbledon in the queue is that they don't really need umbrellas, do they, I don't think, judging by the weather.
They need
air conditioning.
That's what
air
they need.
conditioning in their tents, which is not going to happen.
They need fans.
Lots of water.
Yeah, exactly. Thomas could tell us. It was a fan, and then I just thought how silly that looked.
Let's take a morning to Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Talking about Wimbledon, it is almost certain it is going to be a record-breaking opening. There you go. Back to you.
Thank you. Glad we waited for that bit.
We need those numbers. Thanks, Thomas.
We will be back. We will be back with the headlines at 8 o'clock. Now it's time for Newswatch.
The fog of war. Can the BBC help clear the mist? Welcome to Newswatch with me, Samira Ahmed. Coming up, the efforts of BBC News to establish the truth of what's happening in the conflict involving Iran, Israel and the United States. Amid contradictory claims and misinformation, what's the role of BBC Verify in that process? The precise effect of Saturday night strikes by the United States against Iran's nuclear facilities has been the subject of much debate this week, and it's added to an already confusing picture. Since Israel attacked nuclear and military sites in Iran 2 weeks ago, and Iran promptly retaliated with aerial attacks, it's been hard to establish for sure what damage either side has done to the other. Thank you for all your comments this week. If you want to share your opinions about what you see or hear on BBC News, on TV, radio, online and social media, email newswatch@bbc.co.uk, or you can find us on X @NewswatchBBC. You can call us or WhatsApp us on 0370 010 6676, and do have a look at previous interviews on our website bbc.co.uk/newswatch. That's all from us for now. Thank you for joining us. Do think about getting in touch and perhaps even coming on the programme. And we'll be back to hear more of your thoughts about how the BBC covers the news next week. Goodbye.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Naga, Munchetty and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines today. The push to persuade Labour rebels not to delay welfare changes continues after the government's climb down over the extent of the cuts.
I want to get this right, and I want to bring people with us, and therefore we've made adjustments.
The Archbishop of Wales retires with immediate effect after the publication of reports highlighting safeguarding weaknesses at Bangor Cathedral.
The NHS keeps the public away and patients are seen as an inconvenience, claims the new head of the health service in England.
Health alerts and fears of wildfires. An extreme heatwave hits Europe with temperatures forecast to reach more than 40 degrees.
And temperatures are on the rise. The heat wave is upon us. Today, a hot and sunny day for some of us, but the peak of the heat is expected Monday and Tuesday.
Good morning in sport, roaring into action. The British and Irish Lions are back on Australian soil for the first time in 13 years. We're just a few hours away from their first tour match down under in Perth.
And we're live at Glastonbury, where yesterday Lewis Capaldi triumphed, and today, as well as all the circus acts, there's an unlikely headliner heavyweight clash between rock great Neil Young and Brat star Charlie XCX.
Good morning. It's Saturday, the 28th of June. Ministers are spending this weekend trying to persuade Labour backbenchers not to delay welfare changes after yesterday's climb down by the government.
Yes, Downing Street offered significant concessions, meaning that new claimants, not existing ones, would face stricter checks to decide whether they could claim disability benefits.
The Archbishop of Wales, Andrew John, has announced his retirement from the role with immediate effect, following two critical reports last month about the cathedral, which he oversees. The reports described a culture at Bangor Cathedral in which sexual boundaries seemed blurred. Our reporter Gwyn Loader has more. Hedgeko there, reporting from Madrid.
So what does the weather look like a little closer to home? It is hot, 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 but depends where you are. That's right, isn't it, Thomas? Morning.
Yes, good morning. It absolutely depends where you are. Many of us in the UK will be thinking, what are you talking about? Absolutely no heat wave to get temperatures this high.
It's a really stark divide when you see it on the map like that, isn't it, Thomas?
Yeah,
thank you. That's useful. Thanks.
It's 17 minutes past 8. Good morning. Thousands of people have signed a petition calling for tougher rules on the use of electronic scooters because of concerns for the safety of people using them.
The campaign's been organised by Carly Callan, whose 14-year-old son Jacob died after the e-scooter he was riding on collided with a car. The BBC's Roger Johnson has been speaking to her. It is 28 minutes to 9 now. Sir Keir Starmer insists he got the balance right after his climb down on planned welfare cuts, a move that was forced by his own backbench MPs. In the initial plans, the government wanted to save money by changing who was able to access personal independence payments, otherwise known as PIP. It also wants to cut the rate of incapacity benefit that people receive if they're unable to work through illness or disability. Manesh, really good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for being here. Manesh Patel there at Mind. Thank you.
Thank you. It's 21 minutes to 9. I'm not sure if anyone at Glastonbury is up or if the majority of people are up at this time in the morning. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Really, Ben?
Oh, actually, okay, maybe. Well, there's nothing on the stage.
There's nothing on the stage. They're all in their tents. You can see them in the background there. There have been some fantastic performances, particularly Lewis Capaldi, I think, has really won the hearts again.
It was really
of the
emotional,
crowd.
actually.
Yeah,
after
he had such difficulty. So anyway, we'll be there a little later on. Lovely, sunny morning. I think a little bit of dapple cloud, but it's definitely going to heat up. Mike, I think there will be some people who are very pleased that they're not experiencing the temperatures we are here in the UK.
You're talking about some of the fans down in Perth, down under, for the rugby. Rugby union fans already gathering for the British and Irish Lions' first tour match in Australia. Yeah, around 21 it was during the day, but it's going to drop by kick-off, which is in 3 hours' time, or 2.5 hours' time to be precise. It's going to be about 14.
Nice.
So cool.
Nice.
Great for rugby, yeah. Good morning. Some 40,000 fans from England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland will be making their way to Australia over the next few weeks. Not all of them are there yet, of course, for the much-anticipated British and Irish Lions tour. We're still actually over 3 weeks away from the start of the proper test series against the Wallabies in the queue outside Wimbledon.
For tickets begins next week.
Centre court tickets for Monday morning, which is a brilliant thing. And if you are camping out, look out for John Watson, our very own John Watson, on Monday morning, peering into your tent.
He won't be.
He's going to be there.
Can you imagine that?
Well, no, I'm sure he'll be polite. He'll say, anybody away?
Yeah, that sounds like a threat,
That does sound like a threat. Tell you what, good weather for it.
Yeah.
Good weather for it. They'll be warm.
What it's saying is John will be there in the queue at Wimbledon on Monday.
Knocking on tent. Yeah, exactly. Not
Fist will go through it.
Diving in. Thanks, Mike.
Let's find out what that weather looks like. And it's getting a bit warm, isn't it, Thomas? But it really does depend where in the country you are.
Absolutely. Many western areas of the UK won't really get the heat wave. Temperatures will be typically in the low.
Yeah, and you told everyone in the room because they were all just being a bit snooty. Well done, Tom Ash.
We were not snooty. We were just wondering what you were doing. Thanks, Thomas.
Second full day of Glastonbury Festival underway. Acts like Alanis Morissette, the 1975 Lewis Capaldi, they played the festival's pyramid stage yesterday.
Yeah, but you know the thing that everyone wants to see is Colin Patterson juggling. Because Colin, we set you a challenge earlier and you've risen to it. Good morning.
Absolutely, Colin. We need to see you succeed. See you later.
You can keep up to date with all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff if you like. Glastonbury Live, BBC One and iPlayer all across the weekend and on BBC Sounds.
We'll be back with the headlines very shortly.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Naga, Munchetty and Ben Thompson.
Our headlines today. The push to persuade Labour rebels not to delay welfare changes continues after the government's climb down over the extent of the cuts.
I want to get this right, and I want to bring people with us, and therefore we've made adjustments.
The NHS keeps the public away and patients are seen as an inconvenience, claims a new head of the health service in England.
Tens of thousands of tonnes of illegal waste dumped in a woodland in Kent. We'll hear about the multi-million-pound clean-up operation.
Health alerts and fears of wildfires. An extreme heatwave hits Europe with temperatures forecast to reach more than 40 degrees.
And temperatures are on the rise. The heat wave is upon us. Today, a hot and sunny day for some of us, but the peak of the heat is expected Monday and Tuesday.
Good morning. In sport, the wait is over, roaring into action. The British and Irish Lions are back on Australian soil for the first time in 13 years. We're now just 2 hours away from their first tour match down under in Perth.
Good morning. It's Saturday, the 28th of June. Ministers are spending the weekend trying to persuade Labour backbenchers not to delay welfare changes after yesterday's climb down by the government.
Well, Downing Street offered significant concessions, meaning that new claimants, not existing ones, would face stricter checks to decide whether they could claim disability benefits.
The Archbishop of Wales, Andrew John, has announced his retirement from the role with immediate effect, following two critical reports last month about the cathedral which he oversees. The reports described a culture at Bangor Cathedral in which sexual boundaries seemed blurred. Our reporter Gwyn Loader has more.
Well, speaking of those high temperatures, let's talk to Thomas. And Thomas, right across Europe, we're seeing those really high figures, and there's an impact here, but it really does depend where you are in the country.
Yeah, that's right. Some western parts of the UK will not be getting a heat wave this time round, so it's further east as well, and you can keep track of the weather over the next few days via our weather app. And we often say stay one step ahead of the weather.
We will. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, very useful. Use that a lot. Thank you.
Thanks.
17 minutes past 9 is the time. Now, a £15 million clean-up operation is underway at a woodland in Kent after thousands of tonnes of rubbish were illegally dumped there by criminal gangs.
Yes, the Environment Agency says investigations are still ongoing to identify those responsible. Well, our reporter Yvette Austin has more.
Very diplomatic answer. Dr. Mohit Mandarata, thank you very much for
pleasure.
being
Thank
with us.
you. Let's take you to Glastonbury because it's a glorious morning there. Not many awake just yet. It was a really big day yesterday. All sorts of acts in the 1975, Alanis Morissette, Lewis Capaldi, all on the big stage right there. We'll be back there live a little later, but that's how it's looking as Glastonbury wakes up this morning.
It's going to be a hot one there, but I do know, and you'd think you'd go down to Australia, hot, yeah?
It's winter though.
Winter. Good weather for rugby, I reckon, Mike.
Yes, what a coolest sort of summer evening, 14 degrees for the British and Irish Lions, getting ready for their first match on down under in Australia for some 13 years in just over an hour's time or so. Kicks off at 11 o'clock British time this morning. It's going to be a real factor of the heat, I think, on Monday, isn't it, when those singles first round matches get underway, for the likes of maybe Zoo and Emma Raducanu, and also all the people camping over. A lot of them will be heading there today to get the first tents in the queue outside, in position, won't they?
It'll be a warm weekend to do that.
Yeah.
Bit sweaty,
but at least it's better than
steamy.
if it's raining. Be sweaty in the tent, yeah, but at least it's not raining.
Get out.
Is there only just one court which has the covers at Wimbledon now?
No,
two,
I think
So is it
centre
two?
and one.
Centre and one have them now? Because we will get rain over some point over the next
second week, maybe. I don't know.
think at the
I've
end
looked at the
next-
forecast, and certainly the initial first few days is sweltering.
We can find out more from the expert, really, can't we?
Yeah. I think you're better off doing that than listening to Muggins here.
Exactly. Tomash is taking a look at the weather. Morning, Tomash.
Well, let's see what's happening then with this heat wave over the next few days. Now it's back to you in the studio.
Thomas, thank you. We'll see you later. Thank you.
So it is glorious for many, if you like that kind of weather. At Glastonbury, I think many will be grateful because at this moment in time, we can take you there. It looks empty. And we were saying, Ben, a little earlier, we were talking about whether or not anyone's up, yeah? Mm-hmm. And Matt's just got in touch and he said, can you give a shout out to the litter pickers?
Thanks, Colin. See you later on. Thank you. Have a great day. Very jealous that he's there. As Colin was saying, loads of it on the iPlayer. You can watch it live on iPlayer. It's also on BBC One and BBC Sounds.
That's it from us this morning. Of course, breakfast is back tomorrow at 6. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend.
See ya.
What is Newscast?
There's a simple answer. It's